We are continuing our breaking news coverage as a jury has found former Clear Creek County Deputy Andrew Buen guilty of criminally negligent homicide in the death of Christian Glass.
Christian Glass's family and lawyer are speaking right now, so let's listen in.
Finally, I think this is something where there's actually some consequences, because, you know, Andrew Buen, he basically looked at Christian and said, "I'm going to kill you," and he did so. And there was no, he had no thought for us, his family, Christian's welfare, or anything like that. He was just in a murderous condition or whatever, and that's what he did. And he got away with it. He went back on the job after a few days, and he was walking around like nothing happened.
And we have to thank God for the body cam footage, right? Without the body cam footage,
cams, none of the other officers would have said anything either. So, you know, this has been a really, really long and tough thing for us, and it's not over. But this is what we've been waiting for.
What did that feel like, seeing him walk out of the courtroom?
You know, weirdly, we knew in our hearts that whatever happened, it doesn't bring our son back. And that's the thing, it doesn't bring our son back. But when I saw him handcuffed, it was like, Simon, finally, after 2.5 years, he has finally got real hard consequences for murdering someone. And if he hadn't have been a former police officer, it would have happened sooner. And police really have to be held to the same standards, and quite frankly, higher standards than the rest of us. So I just felt that it was just and right that he be handcuffed and be taken away.
We heard his attorney yesterday say that he thinks about this every day. He feels that this was a tragedy for him. Did you ever get that impression?
No.
Tragedy for who? Andrew Buen. I'm so sorry. Why did he kill our son? He had no reason to. There was no purpose to it at all. And we've never watched the video, but for better or worse, we've heard details in the court when we've been unable to block them out. And you know, the whole thing is just crazy. He thought he was God. He thought he could do anything. He thought he could get away with anything.
He's a bully.
He did.
Bully, violent bully.
He beat up that guy in jail, put him in hospital, got away with it. He killed Christian Glass.
Nearly got away with it.
Got away with it for several months. And even then, you know, it's very, very difficult to convict. So I feel that, you know, we have to trust our police. They, you know, to serve and protect, as the prosecution said. And when they don't, there needs to be heavy consequences, because it's like rooting out evil in your own police.
And it's important. I was just thinking, I've had 2 ladies now, but I remember one older lady in Georgetown. She came up on the street and she gave me a hug, and she said, "Thank you for all you've done to get rid and turn over our police force." She said, "We were terrified of our police." And another lady this trial has said to me, it was like the Wild West up here with our police. So this community had to deal with that police force, and thank God they're gone, because it was corrupt, and they hide and they buried, and it was corrupt.
Who knows what?
But
just one more question from me. We understand that a large portion of the civil settlement is going to charity. Can you talk about that? Would you talk about that?
Oh, well, I think it's, yeah, so there's something called a donor advised fund. Honestly, that we chose because it's cheaper than a foundation to run, so more money can go to good causes. So the money is invested in and then as it grows, that the growth goes into the donor advised fund, and that is given to charity. The idea of that is, we want it to go on for a very, very long time. So you sort of look after the capital, let that grow, and all the growth just goes to, you know, to charities, and that's because it's blood money. We don't want it.
Christian would have probably lived another 60-something years. So if the money can can
Right.
go on for that length of time, that would be great.
Yeah.
I have one more question. I know there was an interaction at the end when Buen was in cuffs. Can you just talk a little bit about that? And were you surprised by that reaction from their supporters, from Buen supporters?
Well, I was the naughty one, I guess. But I think that it was, you know, when his mother yelled out, you know, and I don't, do I have sympathy? I think it's hard. It is her son and he's going to jail. But, you know, Andrew Buen's alive. He's in rude health. He gets to live on his life. Our son is dead. 6 feet under. We had to fly with our son's ashes in our backpack on a plane to bury him in his home country. That is losing a son. And when I see outpouring of sympathy and love for the man that murdered our son, it made me pretty angry.
Yeah, it makes me sick. It's not right, and you know, if enough people had said to Andrew Buen, you did the wrong thing there, that wasn't right, earlier, this would never have happened. He would never have come to murder.
Knowing that there was the potential for second-degree murder charges here, even manslaughter.
We're listening to Simon and Sally Glass, parents of Christian Glass, after Andrew Buen was found guilty for criminally negligent homicide. And I think it's so interesting to hear from them today because they have been such vocal advocates in their son's death. I mean, they really wanted to push for the second-degree murder charge, but I think you could hear just kind of the calm of justice in their voice, knowing that at least their son, you know, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. And some key takeaways, them saying that they were grateful that there was body cam footage, considering that there was no corroboration from other police officers with the side of course, their son. And, you know, just as a parent, I mean, it was powerful testimony to hear from both of them.
And they said they couldn't even look at that video, which you can fully understand.